What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And to be very honest, I was hesitant in choosing a name for today's video. I was thinking of using, oh, it's just the end of this or whatever, but I decided that because right now we are in very depressing times and we need more positive energy, and I don't want to have all of these clickbaity headlines, right? I just want to be here in this down market and explain why Bitcoin was taking a huge dump right now, and to let you know that you are not alone, right? We all gone through this, but definitely seeing this LUNA price and waking up to this, especially if you're in the US and staking UST and hoping to have a 20% yield, it is a very humbling experience, and it is very painful even for me to just see this, right? But I just want to say that I'm here with you, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. I'll try to answer your questions. I did some research on what is causing the overall market dump right now. You just seen that within just an hour. This is like, just look at Bitcoin, right? Within just an hour, we had this flash crash, right? Is this over? Probably not. There must be liquidations, right? Finally, Bitcoin is going below the 2,900 US dollar mark, right? So anyways, today, biggest news, LUNA lost 97.91% in 24 hours. And this is mainly caused by the depegging of the UST with the USTD. So, right now a stablecoin is trading at 0.29 US dollar, which is 25% of $1. So it is a huge loss. But I'm here to talk about, and also because of this, shorts for TRON is at all-time high. And therefore the TRON treasury is kind of buying TRON to support the peg, because TRON also issued their stablecoin, which I'm going to talk more about today. It's not going to be a perfect show, right? Nothing is rehearsed. It's just a lot of raw emotions, and I'm here every day at 1 p.m. UTC, and then just to be with you guys, right? If you want to watch something to know about the market, and rather than just showing tokens, I don't do that, right? I just have a very honest, genuine experience with all of you. So when we look at liquidations in the past 24 hours, 161 million for Bitcoin. Usually this number could go way higher, but 1 hour reg. Oh, actually this number is changing. Let me refresh it a bit, right? Yeah, 1 hour reg 200 million. And this is a period of 4 hours, right? We look at 24 hours, you have more people reg. But anyways, besides talking about negative stuff, I'm just trying to share with you that even we have this rig down, right? There is still a chance that we might go further down, and usually that would be caused by liquidations, right? We've experienced it before, so this is still. We have even gone through the lower low just yesterday. So yeah, brace for impact, guys. Anyways, the reason why okay. First thing is, I'm doing a giveaway. If this could cheer you up, feel free to participate. And just to celebrate my 1,000 followers. Okay, job done. Next news. If you look at the global market cap, so I was looking at this. Wow, since my refresh, there's another 0.06 trillion leaving the market. Because of that flash crash, right? And so the market is looking really red and really brutal, especially for LUNA and UST, and definitely I think there would be repercussion, especially right now the US is up. Imagine one day waking up and finding like your retirement funds being staked in crypto, with the belief of decentralization, with the idea that hey, only crypto can give you 20% risk-free yield, and waking up to find out that 90% of your portfolio is just gone in just one day. There's a lot of disbelief. I don't know what to say to that, but I feel you, man. Like I lost a lot of money in this huge dump, and I think if you really need to hear this, don't do anything stupid, okay? This is just money. I know everyone's situation is different, right? But don't do anything stupid. as volatile as it gets, right? One day the market will recover if we believe that it's not the end of the world, right? Today's crash is kind of, insinuated by the inflation report, right? Which I'm gonna share shortly. Today may be a bad day. Tomorrow is a new day, right? The most important thing is don't do anything stupid. If you lose all your money, you can make money in McDonald's or whatever, get a job and, start again, right? In crypto, in stocks or whatever. But just don't do anything stupid because your life, your health is the most important, your family, and the reason why you enter into crypto, that conviction is the most important thing. So if today you're feeling really terrible, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to talk to you, right? Maybe just in my DMs or whatever. But just don't do anything stupid if you are one of those people holding bags, or in general if you're in this market, right? Reach out to your friends, reach out to people you know, support them. If you know someone who has been telling you about Luna, reach out to them and don't just challenge them or whatever, right? Just reach out to them as a human being and see, hey, ask them how they're doing, right? So without further ado, let's look at the crypto market cap. So now we have a dump. Yesterday I was saying that, I was wondering if this could go even lower, right? Because yesterday we were somewhere here, but we're almost at this low. So this low was back then when we had like a semi-bear last year, where the crypto dump happened as well, but this time it seems quite severe as well. So yes, definitely with one thing you have to know, money is leaving the market, okay? When the total crypto market cap goes down, it means money is leaving the market, okay? In terms of DeFi, let me just do a quick refresh. Money is leaving. And one of the biggest chains that are losing money in DeFi is definitely Luna, right? Look at the negative 75% for Luna. For those of you who, this is painful to see, but basically Enter Protocol was offering around 19.5% yield per year if you hold UST, risk-free accordingly. But now all the money is down the drain. But yeah, guys, this is a humbling experience, right? It tells us that although we commend innovation, like because Luna UST is a algorithmic stablecoin, so it's kind of innovation as well, right? But we have to remember that there is risk involved in cryptocurrency, and these risks are real, right? These risks do manifest itself in reality, especially when the market goes down. So I'm going to talk more about why there's a dump, so brace yourself. In terms of the NFT market, right? Interestingly, yesterday, Zagabond did a Twitter space with Andrew Wan, and he kind of answered some questions, right, about the accusations of him rug-pulling projects and stuff like that. And it seems like a lot of the community members from Azuki might not really like his answer, because just checking this morning in terms of the ownership change, right? Around 121 owners, basically sold the Azuki and is no longer an Azuki holder. So right now, Fit Finance is loading, but I think so. Earlier I checked today, right? It seems like there is kind of some green in the market, and my analysis is that some people from Azuki probably just sold Azuki at a loss or whatever, and redistributed that money back into the NFT ecosystem, into maybe other projects, right? So interestingly, Flip Finance is not working for me live right now. But regardless, let us continue, okay? In terms of the global NFT market, according to NFT Go, normal sentiment, more sellers and buyers. People are panicking, I think, soon. The losses are piling up in terms of 30-day loss, but in terms of 24 hours, we do see that the money, the holders are increasing. There are more trades, and that is because I think the Azuki liquidity that was tied with Azuki is now redistributed to other NFT projects. So once Flip Finance load, I can show you this, right? So let's talk about Azuki, right? So what happened yesterday was that Zagabond, the founder of Azuki, did a Twitter space with Andrew Wan. And from what I heard, and I was listening to it at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then he suddenly just exited the Twitter space near the end, right? But you do have a lot of really angry people, especially people from his previous collection. So this is a tweet by one of these crypto influencers, right? With 4,000 followers ish. So basically, he talked about how he think that the Azuki and also the sunk work pool was kind of coordinated, right? So he was saying that I'll explain it for. So before anything, right, I just want to show you what people's views are, right? Rather than giving you a view. If you're an Azuki holder, I sympathize with you, right? I feel bad for you as well that this happened because I love Azuki. I love how it brought the Asian representation. It brought anime culture into crypto, right? It brought it into NFTs. When you talk about the anime meta, it was driven by the Azuki collection, right? So for me, it is a sad thing to see, and one thing that I do hope people have more is compassion, right? Imagine investing so much of your emotions, so much of your money into a collection, and only to have this happen to you, right? So for you guys, apes and Azukis, why can't we make this space like a happy family, right? Why can't we do this together? I know it's the bear market, everyone is salty and stuff like that, but why can't we help each other up rather than just pointing fingers and arguing about this and that, right? Because the community is the most important thing, right? We don't want people from Web2 to look into Web3 and see, oh my goodness, these guys are just arguing among themselves. These Azuki, these apes, they it's full of work pool, and then they no longer come and experience Web3, right? We don't want that to happen. We want mass adoption. So I just want to say that can't we have more compassion for each other, right? Can't we be more nice to each other on Twitter, and to stop attacking each other, and also to stop attacking people who are trying to do good for the community, even though a lot of unfortunate events are happening within just a few days, right? So this is just one thing that I really want to put out, and so according to this Twitter thread, it says that Sagabon and crew set up their corporation for Azuki before the crypto sunk mint. So this is the allegedly worked project, but in the end, a lot of people were saying it's a rock, right? They filed a trademark for Azuki before they evaporated from the sunk project, right? He was communicating with the sunk community as Kasha93 after the Azuki mint. So 100% of the funds are regularly drained from the Azuki wallet and off-chain, obscured, and dumped into BlockFi, Coinbase, USDT, and etc. So he's trying to imply that it is a very orchestrated thing of pulling a series of works, right? So make no mistake, if this project is building, it is by accident, right? A work was planned and programmed. The same program has been continually executed by the same actors who executed at least 3 times before that we know of, right? If you're currently supporting this project, it is obvious that you are doing it to protect your own ass. You are as comfortable as these scammers. This is disgusting, right? And then he's saying Terra Pauly, who's very vocal about the project, who's kind of like the de facto community leader, right? Saying that the contracts aren't worth it. You're just enabling this scumbag to spoon again, right? It's a public report, and then he talks about the other distribution report of 8,000 Ethereum being drained from the Azuki wallet and also from the previous work pool projects, right? So yeah, this is Azuki, right? This is what people are saying, right? And I do feel for both sides. I think the people who are the most innocent, right, are those people who brought into the project and and had conviction in the project, right? Because they didn't know that this would happen, and that's why within the space there was a renewed discussion of whether big project founders should be doxxed, right? Whether they should be accountable for their behavior, and yeah, I think in the end, there's nothing to say. I don't have no comment. I have no stance on this. My only stance is that as a community and as people in Web3, as people who advocate Ragami, right? Hopefully it's not just a phrase, right? A motto that we use, but we really try to support each other and make it together, right? Making it together does not mean making a lot of money together. It could be building connections, meeting people that you never met or would not have able to met before Web 3.0, right? It could be meeting friends all over the world and having the same goal, being passionate about a same project, about what it could deliver and how to make the world a better place, right? Ragami doesn't mean that you'll be a billionaire tomorrow, but it's more about meeting the people and building everything together, because that's the we is the most important thing out of this crypto slang. So looking at the market today, I want to explain why we took a dump, right? I was kind of surprised as well. Earlier, EU indexes were looking good. Asian indexes were kind of looking good as well. And there was news saying that the Europe market kind of know that inflation is not gonna go up out of expectation, right? But bam, just what happened today is that S&P futures cut gain turned negative after April inflation rises more than expected. So basically today there was a announcement for the CPI, which is April's Consumer Price Index, showing a 8.3% jump. So Dow Jones economists are expecting a 1.8.1 increase, right? So this is a higher than the expectation. So everyone's expectation were kind of the inflation was higher than the expectation, which immediately at 9 a.m. today in US time kind of dumped the crypto market, right? Exactly what happened is that once this announcement was made, inflation was higher than expected, boom, this just happened, right? So the market is still trying to recover. It'll be interesting to see how it does. But in general, very pessimistic in general in terms of the headlines regarding inflation. And in terms of 5 things to know before stock market opens Wednesday, the market is open now, but futures turn lower after consumer price remain at 4-decade high. So, it is a paradox, right? If inflation goes up, you want an inflation hedge, and that's why people turn to cryptocurrency. That's why they turn to Bitcoin to hedge against inflation. But when the Feds decides to control inflation, they're gonna issue interest rate hikes, right? They're gonna make it harder to borrow money. That itself would affect the price of cryptocurrency. So it's funny, in this space there's no 100% that this is gonna go up, right? It's always a 50-50, right? So this is the reason why there was a dump earlier, just in around 10 minutes ago, right? And also Coinbase announced the market performance, the Q1 or Q2 market performance, and then our shares sank 20%, right? So I want to share this news with you, which is about Luna, right? The Maker token exposed 30%, so it surges 30%, and as the stablecoin DAI leapfrogs UST, right? So DAI is also another stablecoin, and it is now the 4th largest stablecoin because due to UST crash, right? So as we all know, UST crash. And for those of you who are not up to date with the news, I did pull up a tweet from John Wu. So basically what he's saying is that an 18 billion stablecoin is losing its dollar peg with all the magical chaos of algorithmic stables with a dash of Bitcoin systematic risk drama. Here's everything you need to know, right? So basically what exactly is an algorithmic stablecoin? So UST is a dollar peg stablecoin that has depegged twice in the last few days, now hovering around 0.9 to the dollar. So this post was actually from yesterday, right? Just a reminder of how UST works. You can always redeem Luna for UST, dollar for dollar, and vice versa. If Luna is at $50, you can redeem it for 50 UST. Similarly, you can redeem 50 UST for 1 Luna, right? So this is how the system works. This is like an algorithm, right? You burn UST to get Luna, you burn Luna to get UST. This is how the dynamic works, okay? It is worth noting that you can always redeem 1 UST for $1 worth of Luna, even if UST is worth less than $1. So it is meant to be a stabilizing mechanism, right? If the UST is trading at 0.99, arbitrageurs can buy it and redeem it for $1 of Luna, right? So because the concept is that UST is always gonna be tradable for $1 Luna, if UST pegs goes down 0.8, you can actually buy UST and then sell it for $1 Luna, and then you can make a 0.2 in between, right? So we all know stablecoin requires utility to maintain demand and defend the peg. So where does UST get utility? Simple, Anchor Protocol. So Anchor Protocol is nominally a money market, but the important TLDR, too long did not read, is that it pays you 19.5% to stake UST. So it is a DeFi protocol that gives you yield, right? So that's why people are holding UST, because they think that because UST is a stablecoin, they are minimizing the risk and they're able to get a 12.5% yield per year, right? A huge portion of UST's circulating supply is in Anchor. Right now it is only 40%, but it has been as high as 70% historically. So why hold UST? Easy, because they're paying you 20% per year to hold it, right? So this is the incentive, this is the utility, right? So two obvious questions. If someone is paying you 20% risk fee, why not just borrow a ton of money and make it like 100%, right? Oh, that's exactly what Acapulcabra MIM DGen box did, right? So this is another DeFi protocol, and that's what they did, right? DGen box and the rest of the Fraud Nation DeFi ecosystem, unwound in January, depegging the UST and sending Luna from 100 to 86. Sounds familiar? Something history may not repeat itself, but can rhyme. So a while back, I'm not sure if you remember about Wonderland, right? So this is what he's referring about, how Wonderland kind of sent the price down, if I remember correctly. So how does one give out 20% free money every year? Well, that's also easy. The LFG Foundation, overseers of Terra's multi-billion-dollar ecosystem fund, we'll come back to that. First, we have to figure out what the Luna token does, right? So he's not going to focus on the fundamental values and focus on narrative. Every UST in circulation reduces the circulation of Luna. So the win scenario is every single Luna on Earth gets burned for UST. So you can see the basic appeal. The more USD, the less Luna. And holders should want to diamond hand Luna. There's unstoppable demand for UST, and you're the last Luna holder on Earth. You have immense redemption power, right? It is right on the site. So that's why the market cap for Luna is always lower than the UST is FUD, right? It doesn't matter what the total implied value of Luna is. What matters is the marginal value of each Luna that is redeemed for UST or vice versa, Luna's price, right? But what's more important is the directionality and stability of Luna's price. It's a big mother problem if the average redemption price of Luna for UST is high relative to Luna's current price. So he's going to slow that down. If the Luna price is high, Luna gets burned, many UST minted, right? If the Luna price falls, the UST redeemed for many Luna. That is bad, MK. It is useful to illustrate using extreme. Say the price of Luna is 1 billion, then someone could mint 1 billion UST by burning a single Luna. Then let's say the price of Luna falls to $1 for no good reason. The person could redeem the UST for 1 billion Luna. And suddenly, again for no good reason at all, there's a ton of more Luna in circulation being dumped on the open market. This is in essence what's happening today. Okay, so this is why there is a depeg happening, right? So back to the Luna Foundation guard, the UST has the same dynamic as other algo stables, except in addition to the algo part, they also have LFG. In other words, UST is stabilized by contracts, which is the smart contracts about the trading and stuff like that. The gigantic gravity well created by the size of Do Kwon's nut, so his money, right? The money being backed by it, right? So previously, LFG was in charge of the anchor bootstrapping strategy. Take Treasury Luna, sell it, and fill up the Enter Protocol reserve, the big slash fund that pays you the 20% yield. So every L1 Eco fund does things like this, just less directly, okay? So the bet UST burn for staking, Luna price goes up, sell more Luna to fund the protocol reserve, and longer term UST takes off as a widely used stable. Then for LFG runs out of money, Luna goes to the moon, everyone happy, right? So this was all challenged in January when DGen box collapsed. And the implosion took down a big push for UST to be used in a 10-digit cross-chain ecosystem headed by Daniel Setas, right? And when that jumped V8 and other power into the 1 billion Luna OTC deal to buy Bitcoin. The story there, get the Bitcoin gang on board. Every cycle needs one crazy billionaire to go hard for the king, get redemption UST to BTC, and then UST to Luna 1, right? So basically, the LFG, what happened is that they decided to to kind of maintain the peg by holding a reserve of Bitcoin, AVAX, and some currency, right? So right now, because of the depeg, right? If we look at this is the Luna LFG reserve, right? I'm not going to go into details on this, right? Just search up John Woo to go through the whole thread because it will take me forever to continue this. But basically, they have a fund, and then that fund has AVAX, UST, Luna, USDC, UST, and Bitcoin in order to support the page, right? But the problem is what went wrong is that the whole market is dumping. And all of these cryptocurrencies value in fiat was unable to catch up with the pegging, and at the same time, because everything is dumping, the value of these reserve keeps going down, right? Because it's not $1 US dollar backed by $1 US dollar, which resulted into this huge dump that we saw, which is a 96% decrease, right? So yeah, that's basically what happened shortly. And to kind of compound this, right, to make this even more interesting, right, what people are saying, and if you are kind of a conspiracy theorist, right, everyone is talking about the UST attack. So what people are saying is that there was someone who deliberately attacked UST, right? so including Janet Yellen, but no one is talking about how much money the attacker made or how brilliant it's worth, right? So basically, our story starts in late March, where the LUNA Foundation guard started buying Bitcoin to back UST. So rather than being backed by US dollars, the UST was being backed by Bitcoin and also other cryptocurrencies, right? The LFG started accumulate Bitcoin on on March 22nd, and by March 26th has 1 billion Bitcoin position, right? This leg number one made this trade or attack brilliant, right? So the second leg comes in the form of 4 pool facts announcement for UST on April 1st. This added the second leg needed to help execute strategy in a capital efficient way. Liquidity will be lower than the attack is on, right? So basically, we don't know when the attacker bought 100,000 Bitcoin to start the position. So basically, the attacker bought 100,000 Bitcoin. Other than it was sold into Kwon's buying, still speculation, right? LFG bought 15,000 Bitcoin between March 27 and the April 11. So let's just take the average price between these days, which is 42K, right? So if you have a 4.2 billion short position built, over that same time, the attacker builds a 1 billion off-the-counter position in UST, the stage is now set to create a run on the bank and get paid on your BTC short. In anticipation of the 4 pool, LFG initially removes 150 from the free pool liquidity. The liquidity was pulled on, May the 8th, just 3 days ago. Then the attacker used 350 million of UST to drain the liquidity, and LFG pulls another 100 of liquidity, right? So basically, this is actually what was happening behind the scene. But this only starts the depegging down to 0.972 at the lows. LFG begins selling Bitcoin to defend the peg, right? Causing downward pressure on the BTC while the one on UST was just getting started. And then with the curve liquidity drained, the attacker used the remainder of the 1 billion OTC UST position, 650 million or so, to start offloading on Binance. As withdrawal from anchor turned from concern into panic, this caused a real depeg as people fled for the exit, right? And then so LFG is selling Bitcoin to restore the peg while the attacker is selling UST on Binance. Eventually, the chain gets congested and the central exchanges suspend withdrawal of UST, fueling the bank run panic. UST depegs at 60 cents at the bottom while BTC bleeds out, right? The crypto community panics as they wonder how much Bitcoin will be sold to keep the peg. There are liquidations across the board, and Luna pukes because of its redemption mechanism, right? So that's why we saw a the dump of the 25% of Bitcoin on April 11, right? So how much did our attacker make? There aren't any details of what was covered. Obviously, they were able to buy back the entire position at 32,000, which means that they made 952 million on the short. So the reason why I want to share this with you is that there's a lot of speculation of why the depeg happened, right? And this is no ordinary event, right? This is something that, like, nothing could cause something to have a huge dump unless it was dumped deliberately, right? So feel free to check out these threads. These are very long threads, so feel free to check them out and see what you think, right? So among all of this, what did Do Kwon do? Well, Do Kwon did issue a statement around 3 hours ago. So basically, they're saying, like, my understanding of this statement is another very long statement as well, is that we kind of had to wait it out, right? If you believe in this, they're gonna rebuild, but they're gonna have to wait out, for the depeg and for the selling pressure to end, and then they're gonna rebuild, right? But that's it, and that's why and also, being compounded with this huge dump of Bitcoin earlier because of the inflation and because of the bearish sentiment. It's very hard for it to, fully recover. And this is what is really happening, right? But if you've been watching the show, you know that TRON issued their algorithmic stablecoin. So what happened was that the founder of TRON, Justin Sun, just posted this 2 hours ago. The funding rate of shorting TRON on Binance is over 100% APR. It seems like TRON is the next target after Luna. So their reserve is going to deploy 2 billion USD to fight them, right? So he posts this, and then if we look at the TRON price, yes, they are kind of defending against the position. So it's a very interesting idea of money flowing in and out, people defending the positions and stuff like that. But I want to bring into your attention is that the U.S. Secretary Yellen, right, last year, kind of came out and say that stablecoins pose a significant risk to financial stability, right? So because there was kind of like a DPEG yesterday, Secretary Yellen decided to say that the Congress needs to pass a stablecoin legislation before the end of the year, right? And the UST recent crash. And this article was posted yesterday. Remember this. This article was actually posted yesterday when the DPEG did not DPEG in this fashion, right? Yesterday it was still around 0.7, 0.8, right? So it wasn't that serious, but because of some maybe coordinated or emotion-driven market, the DPEG, this thing actually happened today, right? So what I do think is that if you ask me about my thoughts of this market, I do think that if you are in crypto, and if you're happy because this is happening, it is not happy, right? If you're shorting this, if you're happy, you're making money, this is not a good thing. In general, what this would do is that if people could lose 94% of the investment in a day, what will happen, right? They're gonna rally to regulators, right? They're gonna go to the US, regulators and say, hey, crypto is not safe. We need consumer protection. I thought stablecoins was safe, but now I lost around, 50% of my or now 60% of my stablecoins, right? So we need more regulation in this space. And as we all know, once regulation become more on the headlines, right? People are gonna panic, right? People are gonna be, oh, are we gonna do KYC? What stable coins are gonna be available, right? There's gonna be a lot of panic in the market. So I do think that we have not seen the full-blown effect yet, but mark my words, right? I'm not all of those, PR influencers or whatever. I'm just trying to see this in a very logical way. What will happen is that the US Treasury or the US people in charge of regulations and stuff like that will use this LUNA case as a way to further the agenda, right? We know that the different governments were trying to push the CBDC, central bank digital currency, right? What if this is the best time for them to create a centralized digital currency? And what implications would it have in the market? What implications would it have for crypto, right? What if every transaction is being traced? Well, of course, right now in the crypto world, it is being traced. But what if you have to do KYC before opening a wallet? Or what if there's more regulations for consumer protection, right? Because this is definitely a great argue point for consumer protection, right? If you don't protect the consumers, who's going to protect them, right? And crypto is very volatile, therefore we have to limit it to professional investors, something like that. So I do think that this is just a beginning of a new chapter, and this chapter is full of FUD, if you want to say that, fear, uncertainty, doubt. So we have to tread carefully. I always say in my show, survival is the most important. If you don't survive, how can you play the long-term game in this space, right? But if you're down really bad, my heart goes out to you, right? Just don't do anything stupid. Survive, right? We would persevere, right? One day we are gonna make it, but is it gonna be in this way? Or is it gonna be, in what way, right? As long as you persevere, as long as you have conviction, I do believe that it will be a green day, right? So next news, Coinbase executive dismissed talk of Robinhood acquisition. So basically, Coinbase announced the earnings call, and then they had some disappointing results. And as you all know, the NFT Coinbase marketplace weren't able to onboard a lot of people, and therefore they kind of dumped around quite a bit, if I remember correctly. So people were saying that, oh, are you gonna be acquired by Robinhood, which is another trading platform, and then they dismissed this talk, right? So this is another news about crypto. And finally, I want to talk about, so I don't think you'll be interested in this news, but I just want to say how blockchain is being used for real purposes, right? In order for us to see green, in order for blockchain technology to survive in this space, it must have a wider and more holistic, more institutional adoption, right? The blockchain technology itself. So our top diamond producer, De Beers, deploys blockchain-based platform at scale. So De Beers is one of the leading diamond producing company globally. So recently they announced the deployment of its blockchain-based diamond source platform at scale, right? So people could look at the provenance information from source to site holder to store on a secure blockchain. So I think they're gonna launch their own blockchain, and using this blockchain they're able to track the source of the diamonds, right? So I think the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that even in these down market, I want to share with you that the technology itself has not changed. Blockchain technology has not changed. Distributed ledger technology has not changed. None of these fundamentals have changed, right? Yes, maybe some tokens fundamentals have changed, but the technology itself has not changed. The idea of digital ownership has not changed. So that's why I think we still have hope, right? We still have conviction. But in order for this place to go far, we have to have compassion, right? We have to stop arguing among ourselves and we build together in this down market, and that's how we can come up stronger. And so yeah, that's it for my very long video today, talking about the whole LUNA incident. So I just want to spend more time to talk about the whole thing and why it collapsed. And go out for a walk, go to the park, take a break if this is too much for you. But remember, in this time, maybe set your stop loss and have no regrets, even if the market goes up maybe 20% the next day, because survival is the most important thing. None of this is not financial advice, but it is real advice for you to take care of your mental well-being, take care of your health. And if you need someone to talk to, my DMs are open. Feel free to reach out to me, or just reach out to your friends, or if you know someone else who is suffering from this market downturn, reach out to them as a human being, because we do need more compassion in the space. We do need more humanity, because I've been looking at the NFT space. It's a crap, right? It's crap right now. You have apes and Azuki arguing with each other, and then you look at the LUNA. Look at the tweets for LUNA, right? It's all so depressing. It's just so sad, and I think we need more compassion, and that's it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. No video tomorrow. I have something else to do, but thank you for staying in. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to like and retweet. But I do appreciate you encouraging other people rather than just sharing my content, right? Support each other. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.